episode 4 of the Film Bros Championship Podcast. I am Tim, and with me is my co-host Patrick. How you doing, buddy?
Tim, back in my day, drug dealers had no problem getting girls. That's why I always wanted to be one.
Sage advice from a psychologist.
Oh my God. A psychiatrist thinks he can prescribe medicine, but
that's true, yeah.
What a treat.
What? Yeah. What a bounce back for Ben Kingsley.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
Right?
my man still got nominated for a Razzie because for his performances in War Inc. and The Love Guru, and they also mentioned this movie, which was unfair because he's actually brilliant.
He's a delight in this.
Yeah.
Redemption is spelled B-E-N. Like, come on.
That's right, Tim.
I thought it was. I enjoyed this movie.
Yeah, tell me about it, Tim. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. So okay, here's my description of this movie. I'm gonna go off the dome as I like to do. A loser pot dealing kid from New York whose only friend is a psychiatrist is determined to help his parents who are fighting in financial troubles basically keep their apartment in New York. So he's going to sell a lot of weed, and he gets distracted by his first love.
Yeah, I don't think that's what the movie is, but okay. It's fine.
What? How is it not the movie?
This is a coming of age story.
Yeah, it is.
It's about this kid who is just depressed as hell.
Right.
And his decision to help out his parents comes way later in the movie. Honestly, this whole thing's about steering out of this depression and getting out of this funk that he has put himself in. And stop concentrating on the wackness and start concentrating on the dopeness.
Right. That's like the story that he's learning and stuff like that throughout.
That's
sure. But that's not the driving engine of the movie. And I don't think the way laterness of him helping his parents happens way later. I think you're wrong. Straight up wrong.
Nah, he doesn't decide to get heavy
that
into
is
the weed dealing
very
until
early
August. Before that, he's just doing it for himself.
Well, no, he's that's what he wants to do, and he's trying to help money. But then once the love thing doesn't work out, because he even gets the cart and doing the whole cart thing before the love interest comes in. It's the love interest that derails everything, and then when that goes away, that's when he redevotes himself into getting the money and the funds.
Right. But
so I think you're wrong.
There's nothing to do with the real point of the movie, the drive of the movie. So that's why it's window dressing. But anyway, let's get into it.
That's the premise, but okay.
So our hero, Luke Shapiro, a weed dealing loner, teen who just finished high school, is struggling with depression, fixating on what he doesn't like about life without ever acknowledging or experiencing the joys of life.
Right.
I am Luke Shapiro, a drug dealer. Hear my cry.
Yeah. Yeah. He's kind of a lovable loser a bit.
Wasn't familiar with Josh Peck's work before this. Were you?
No, I think he was a Nickelodeon kid.
Yeah. Drake and Josh or whatever. I remember.
Yeah, and I guess he lost a ton of weight, too.
Right. I think I remember reading something about that too. And his co-star was a real piece of work, apparently. He grew up into being a real piece of crap. But
oh, really?
Yeah, I guess that would be Drake. But he's good in this movie.
Yeah, I thought he was good.
This part is very high likelihood of being annoying. And he was not ever. He was just what a lovable
this
loser.
kid was so New York too.
Oh yeah.
I think he nailed the accent. I think the kid is from New York, first off. But I think he nailed the accent. He nailed a lot of, I feel like, kids I just knew that acted this way. I feel like. Oh, for sure. There was this kid who from New York City that lived down the hall from me in college that was this kid, I feel.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was pleasant surprised. I ended up being is there anything else he did after this? Because He was really good.
He's a working actor. Nothing that I've actually seen him in. But so
because you're right, this could easily go bad.
Really easily.
Because it's really not that much. Like, he is really not given a whole lot to be fun because he is depressed. He rarely gets the opportunity to crack the jokes himself. But he's never really like annoying. Like, he's not Holden Caulfield. You know what I mean?
Good call.
Yeah. Who's the worst?
Amen, brother. So one of Luke's customers is Dr. Squires, the psychiatrist he deals weed to in exchange for therapy, who happens to have a stepdaughter Luke has a huge crush on.
Yeah, big crush.
Plays a big part in the movie.
Sure does.
So Luke claims it's out of loyalty that in the year of our Lord 1994 he doesn't listen to CDs. He still listens to cassettes and plays the original Nintendo.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the little bit of original Zelda we got going on there. So I know he's good.
Yeah,
right
I figured
away.
you'd like that one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, oh.
Yeah. He with his weed money, he's bought himself a little mini fridge, which has been helpful for him in this movie.
I mean, the size of the bricks of weed that he has on him throughout the movie.
Yeah.
It's like staggering. Like, good Lord.
Yeah. It's one thing I'm definitely be intrigued to talk more about Method Man in the future when we get to side characters. But yeah,
sure, yeah. Sometimes Josh has vivid daydreams, and I wish the movie had done more of them. But I guess
it was really limited.
Yeah, I guess the budget and worried about becoming like boy Alan McBeal stopped that.
Yeah, you also don't want it to be too long too.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, the train sequence is really
in the
good.
beginning. Yeah.
And then they do this Billie Jean reference, which is seen in the trailer, which I thought was going to be big and fun. And like, no, it's just a couple of seconds. That's all it is. I'm like, oh, that's disappointing.
Right. And then the masturbation scene.
Right. Yeah. Well, that part is
another
actually very
kind of
good. Now I will get into that a bit later.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying other daydream moments.
Yeah,
but
good
like
call. I
feel like
forgot that.
that's kind of like about it after that. There's not a whole lot.
So throughout this movie, you watch Luke learn to enjoy life. He falls in love with Steph and has his heart broken. It's a fun ride.
Yeah.
The relationship stuff is just painfully relatable to anybody who went through high school. Luke telling Steph he loves her after having sex, and Steph responding with like, "Oh, word."
Yeah.
And then watching Luke like leave a string of like messages on her voicemail as he processes all this. And
right. And it's all sweet at first, and then all of a sudden he gets like angry, and then he starts dropping F-bombs like, who needs you kind of deal. But then he's like almost doing a non-comedic version of Adam Sandler. I love you, baby. Please come back to
It's definitely like that opening of Happy Gilmore. Yeah.
Yeah.
You just want to I want to Terry Tate office linebacker any kids doing this in the movie. Like, no, don't do this. This is the worst.
But it's like, you know what's going to happen because it's like, oh gosh, we've all made this mistake. Like we've all been here.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's another thing what I liked about this movie and this character. It just felt so real.
Mm-hmm.
And everything felt correctly earned, and it felt just real. It just felt really real. And you see like his frustration with why, like, hey, I'm selling you drugs, and like, hey, nice party, like not invited and overlooked type of stuff. Or
probably the most realistic part of his identity as a teenager too, by the way, is thinking every adult is immature.
Right.
He calls every adult like, oh, they're children, immature. My parents, his therapist, best friend. It's just like, yeah, that's because it's the real, like, oh, you know it all, huh?
Yeah.
And the truth is, we get wiser, but we're basically the same people we were when we were teenagers.
We're still people in the end, But yeah, it's a fun journey to go with. I can't, as much as I would have maybe liked to see him have there's a couple of moments where he gets to be a little fun,
right?
That I will kind of get into later, I feel, but it's very rare. So that's probably the thing that's holding the character back the most is that. But otherwise, it's like, he's very real. You feel for the kid. He's just, I'm amazed. This could have been so casted. It could have been casted so poorly.
Yeah.
Like this could have gone so bad.
So I gave him a 3 out of 5. Where'd you land?
I gave him a 3.
Oh, so we're the same place. Look at that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
So let's talk about the stuff that made us laugh.
Yeah.
That's what we're here to do.
Most of the humor is Ben Kingsley as Dr. Squires. Most of it is.
He gets to have a lot of fun in this movie.
He really shines quite a lot. Every once in a while, everybody gets a little jab in there, but he's the most of the humor.
What's on your mind, Luke? Nothing? I mean, I could make something up. Fine, make something up then. I'm having trouble getting laid. Common problem.
Because he, as you find out, is also having trouble getting laid from his own wife. Yeah. You see Dr. Squires later at like the graduation stuff. And then like Famke Janssen's like, tuck in your fucking shirt. And then he's like, oh, sorry, kind of deal. And I thought that kind of made me laugh and chuckle too.
Yeah, he's clearly high for that or whatever.
Yeah. And there's a couple of like, Famke Janssen does not really give in a lot. But there's a couple of times with her line deliveries that are just kind of her aggressiveness towards his immaturity and everything is funny.
Yeah, we'll get into her later.
Yeah, but I mean, I just wanted to put out the funniness, but yeah.
Luke earnestly saying in voiceover that his job as a weed dealer takes him to exotic places like Brooklyn and Queens.
Yes, I laughed at that one. Yeah,
it's just like, yeah, absolutely. That is someone who grew up in Manhattan would think. Like, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Notice my man wouldn't go to the Bronx though.
No,
bastard.
Yeah, did not mention that.
Nobody wants to go to the Bronx.
No.
Before 1996, because the Yankees were not good then.
Yeah, it's true.
No one wants to go check out the Kevin Moss Yankees. The Mike Stanley Yankees.
I like when he goes to the party to deal, and then there's the throwaway line from like Justin or whatever. And he's like, oh, almost out of Zima. I got to go.
Yeah.
So that one kind of made me laugh.
That was a fun
or the
reference,
yeah. Be careful out there with Giuliani. Like
constant jokes so about many. Giuliani in this movie.
There's so many.
Always make me laugh.
Yeah, they're really funny. He goes off on Giuliani later in the movie.
Yeah,
it's
and I have it written down.
Funny how you keep getting them periodically throughout, but you see that little beginning one too with careful out there with Giuliani.
Yeah. So in voiceover, Luke explains what he loves about summer in the city. Like, I like fly girls. I like tank tops. I like short skirts. I like my impure thoughts, which go something like this. And then he daydreams the fly girls like dancing on the train for him.
Yeah.
And for those who are younger than Tim, the fly girls were dancers that appeared in between sketches of In Living Color. They were choreographed by Rosie Perez, and J-Lo was a member for a couple of years.
Yeah.
It was Fox's answer to SNL, and it didn't last very long, but a lot of great people came out of it.
There's a lot of great stuff that came out of it in Living Color, for sure. I'm interested. I would have loved there to be something where he did have to keep some ices in the cart in case somebody actually wanted ices.
Yeah, it's funny. It said ices, but like I definitely thought I saw like ice cream like in one of the.
I thought at first he was selling like nuts or something at first, but yeah, no, it says ices, and they mention it definitely
says ices, and he's supposed to be selling ices, but it looks like there's ice cream cartons in there.
Like, it does. It looks like that's how he's hiding his weed in ice cream cartons.
Right, but I think there's actual ice cream in them, like scooped out. I'm like, what is he doing?
Is it?
With that? Yeah.
I'm just so curious, like. What if a kid comes? He's in the park. What if a kid comes up and wants an ice? Like, sorry, I'm all out. Is that it? Is that the gist?
It's troublesome since she's doing this in the summertime in the city when the kids are all out of school.
Yeah.
So Squires has a dog, by the way, named Jesus Christ.
Yes, from his first marriage, right?
And I'm sorry, but that's just great. A dog named Jesus Christ is really funny.
Yeah, and I love how I gotta go drop off Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I like when he asks for medication from Dr. Squires,
Yeah.
And then and then he's like, why do you ask? It's for me. No shit. And like I just the delivery from him is great there again. And then he's talking about his depression, and he goes, "Does this have something to do with Kurt Cobain?"
Yeah.
That one made me laugh too.
Oh man. Yeah. We already mentioned this movie takes place in 1994, right?
Yeah, it really tries to go hard into the 90s of it all.
Yeah. So you got like Luke staring at his yearbook that has an entire page dedicated to his crush Stephanie, which inexplicably includes a bikini photo.
I thought that was weird too.
I was like, what high school would have allowed that?
I don't know, but yeah, you do get those full page kind of
right. Like the parents with money would pay for like and cared about that kind of stuff would like do like a big dedication to their daughter.
But bikini shot is real weird.
Like every school for my entire life, and I am, God help me, 40 years old, would have just been like, absolutely not. No. Pick a different photo. Or like not told them and just run with the baby pictures.
Yeah. Speaking of you saying 40, I do like the when he tries to go to Fake Kenny Hansen, he's like, you want to go out tonight? It's a Tuesday night. I'm almost 40. You're 42.
Yeah.
I thought that was a nice line too.
That is, painfully relatable, that line.
Yeah.
So so he's staring at this picture of her in the yearbook. And all of a sudden, Daydream comes alive, and Steph starts talking to him from the yearbook. He's like, "What do you want from me, Luke?" "I don't know." "Come on, Luke, you can tell me. After all, I'm just in your head. Be honest. Do you want to do dirty things to me?" Not like especially dirty, just like normal dirty.
Yeah, normal dirty. I thought that was funny. Yeah.
Let's see. I already did the back in my day drug.
I forgot about the when he's asking for pills, right? "I'm mad depressed, yo. I want some happy pills. I have no friends. You have me." The back and forth between the two of them is so much fun.
Well, this is one of my favorites. Is Luke talking to Squires. Luke's asking, like, "Were you popular in high school?" And Squires like, "No, I wouldn't say so. Not one of the popular kids, but I played baseball. I was a debater." "Did you ever want to kill yourself?" "Not till much later."
Yeah, that's a great line. Yeah, not too much later.
and this one's great too. "Make her like you, Luke. That's what I did with my wife." "How'd you do that?" "Be your friend. Confide in her. Earn her trust. Then, when you're least threatening to her, grab her and stick your tongue so far down her throat she starts to gag from pleasure." "Can I grab her tits too?" "Baby steps, Luke."
Baby steps. Which is another fun callback humor that keeps coming up with the baby steps. Because that comes
hell of a psychiatrist. It's giving the worst advice.
Well, he's obviously living like vicariously through this kid. Like he is also depressed.
He's going through a midlife crisis. Yeah,
he's going through a midlife crisis and everything. He misses his youth, and he wants to try to live through this kid almost.
Yeah, young men.
Because he does seem to like him.
He does.
Yeah,
young men need sex, Luke. All men, actually. I can get you a hooker if you like.
Yeah, and then he has a great
for you.
Yes, there it is. He had a great part. Yeah, I was this close to respecting you, and then he responds, "Big mistake, Luke." It was so funny. And then I love too when he comes out with the Jesus Christ dog, and like she admits that he smokes more than she does, or does more drugs than she does, or whatever. Which was funny, but then she starts talking about how Stephanie. Stephanie gets told from Dr. Squires like about her patients, and the utter horror on Shapiro's face of he doesn't like tell you everything, right? Like,
isn't this
he's so mortified
like,
of that?
Patient
Doctor patient confidential.
It's like, yeah, he just tells me anyway. You see the panic in his face, like, fuck.
Yeah.
I love Squires bored at home and tries to hit an unsuspecting couple on the street below with a water balloon.
Oh, he does this multiple times throughout the movie, and it's great every time.
He misses, but it's close, and they freak out, and then Squires cackles, and he's about to try again with a phone book.
Yes! But that's when the phone call comes in. You're like, oh my gosh. And I think even like at the very end of or towards the end of the movie, when like he leaves,
Squires there's water balloon.
Yeah,
at him.
there's one last water balloon drop that just misses him.
Mm-hmm. We were missing like a cackle from him.
Yeah, that would have been funny if they did that. Yeah.
Here we go. Let's get into the good Giuliani stuff.
Oh yeah.
So they go to this bar, and Squire's just buying drinks for all of these underage kids, and they get kicked out. He says, "Since when is the drinking age 21? Since forever? Fucking Giuliani." And then you got Squires and Luke are caught like tagging with a marker.
Yes.
Window or whatever, and Squires literally is signing his full name, which is really funny.
It is funny, and that will also come
everything.
back. Yeah, that'll also come back. But I love when they do get caught,
well,
right?
Like, at first he starts like pumping up his sneaker.
Yes,
which is like the most
he's
like
got the
mid-90s
pumps.
thing. Yeah. And he gets ready to run from the cops, but he doesn't.
And it's in slow motion.
Which I think kills the joke. I think it doesn't work because the slow motion.
The only reason why I disagree is that you get the slow motion like something epic is about to happen.
Right, yeah.
But then it goes to, no, I immediately get caught. And so that I thought that was kind of funny.
I think that it ruins the joke for me. I think it needs to be faster, and I think it would have been funnier to watch him pump it and panic and then run right into the cops.
Yeah, I guess they were trying to get the build up. I get what you're saying.
I get what he's trying to do. I just didn't work for me. I think it would have been funnier to him just run directly into the cops in seconds. But
yeah, or not even show him getting caught and just doing a smash cut to him in prison, which is also pretty funny as he's like trying to corral everybody on his side about Giuliani and stuff.
Yeah. Squires is freaking out in jail. Who put you boys up to this? Giuliani? Used to be you could lick a sheet of acid, hold up a bank, fuck a whore in Times Square without any of you batting an eyelash. Now one blunt and we're in the clink. The whole city's fucked. We give you character. And then my favorite exchange in the movie. Shut the hell up. Oh, wow. Come on now, brother. Join the revolution. What are you in for? I stabbed my wife in the pussy. Oh, wow.
Yep. And I like to, after that, right? They get bailed out. The daughter's there,
right? Yeah.
She makes, she's good. She's fine. But I think the real funny is he sees his Stephanie and Luke kind of interacting, and he immediately goes, "Don't touch my daughter, Luke."
Stepdaughter. And they both say stepdaughter, like in unison.
Yeah, well, yeah, they both respond to him, stepdaughter. Yeah, it's a really funny exchange.
Yeah. Okay, so this one.
Are you guys gay together? Friends, I guess. Weird.
Okay, so this one, I don't know if you will get the joke. I don't know if you had to watch these episodes with Mom. So there's a pretty good Three's Company joke in here when Squire sits down to watch late night TV with his stepdaughter.
Okay, yeah.
And he asks what's going on the TV. Yeah. And she says, basically, there's been this big misunderstanding, and Mr. Furley thinks Jack is gay. He's like, oh, I think I've seen this one. And that's literally the description of 90% of the entire run of Three's Company. That was the whole shtick.
Okay. Yeah, no, I missed that
Because that was
joke.
the only reason that John Ritter, playing Jack, was allowed to stay with the two women, like Suzanne Summers and Joyce DeWitt.
Right.
Because like the first Mr. Roper and then Don Knotts playing Mr. Furley thought that Jack was gay. So that was made it acceptable to him live with two women. So
right.
For us old heads, it was a good joke.
You know what? I've watched episodes of Three's Company, but I just didn't pick up on that. But yeah.
Yeah, you were way too young, I guess, to realize what that joke for.
Yeah, I like to when Dr. Squires comes home and he's going to his wife and he just immediately, I was having an affair. Good for you. I was in jail. That's nice, Jeffrey.
Yeah.
I'm taking a nap.
She's like jazzercising or something.
Yeah, exactly. Last patient canceled. Actually, it was suicide.
Last week. By the way, if you want a good joke, just look up Don Knotts and Three's Company to see all the different outfits he wears.
Yeah.
It's a real blast from the past. Like, oh my God. Anyway.
Yeah. Do you think I'm a weird old guy? Yes.
So eventually, Luke hooks up with Steph.
Yeah.
And things progress.
You're a virgin?
Yes.
No. Nah.
I just never officially had sex before, okay? That was a great Josh Beck line reading there.
Yep. I agree.
Okay, so the funniest thing that Famke Janssen gets into in this movie, and I can't give it credit, where she tearfully reminisces about the last time her and her husband stayed up all night.
Oh, yeah.
Which was 4 years ago on New Year's. When Squires found some coke from the 80s he hid and forgot about, and the two of them fucked like rabbits out on the balcony, and they woke up Steph, and he told her they were out there trying to heal a sick pigeon.
And he doesn't remember it at all.
No. And she's like crying. He's like, wait, no, I do remember. I do.
Which I guess is like kind of the epitome, I guess, why their marriage really fell apart. Right? I guess they never really fully go into it.
Yeah, no, I don't know. They just drifted apart. I mean, it's just...
Yeah, because I think he's more hung up on that in his immaturity than she kind of grew out of that stuff.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but Luke and Steph banging in the shower with the deer watching them made me laugh.
Yeah, that one didn't get me. I don't know. It was random, that's for sure. But yeah, that one didn't get me.
It was the randomness that made me laugh.
I mean, what was the mixed drink? It was something so weird. It was like juice box and like whiskey or something. It was like a weird combo that was like, ugh.
I missed it. Is that something that she poured for them at the Fire
Yeah,
Island house?
because I think she's like, do you want any wine? He's like, you got anything harder or whatever? And then I think she says something like whiskey. And then he's like, you got anything to like cut it with or whatever, or mix it with? And then she's like, I got juice boxes. And you see her like squirting the juice box in the glass with the whiskey. And I was just like, no.
Yeah, someone who actually enjoys whiskey, that is horrifying. I missed that whole part. I was probably laughing at something.
I don't even drink it, but I'm horrified looking at it.
Yeah, no, is this before or after the first time they try to have sex?
I think it's before. It's when they first kind of get there and yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, not great. But again, they're kids, right? So it's like they're just out of high school.
Yeah. I love Squires doing the kids in the hall squishy with his diplomas in his office.
Yeah.
It made me laugh. Big Kids in the Hall fan here, so that made me laugh.
Yeah, yeah.
With all due respect to my stepdaughter, Luke, fuck her. Fuck them all. As Biggie said, bitches, I like them brainless. And the way Kingsley delivers it is just like...
I mean, the way he's delivering every line. I mean, he is gold when it comes to this.
Yeah.
I did forget. We kind of moved past it. There was one Shapiro delivery line I really liked from earlier.
Go.
And it's when he's drug dealing with Stephanie.
Right.
And it's when you first, I guess, meet Eleanor, I think.
Yeah. Your favorite actress in the whole wide world.
Right.
Yeah, Tim loves Jane Addams.
There's some sarcasm there. But anyway, she worked for this role, hands very much so. But she's just making it super awkward and uncomfortable between the two of them, and then just starts going off about how they should just fuck, like they should just sleep together.
Yeah. It's like,
and then he's like, I could just sell you some weed. Or something. It was a really well delivered line, and then that one made me laugh.
What would you say is Jane Addams? Is she like your like light beer version of Lily Taylor, like your most like hated actress in the whole wide world?
Oh wow, that's a good. Hold on.
Tim's hatred for Lily Taylor like burns with like fiery passion because
It's not exactly fair.
he was burned by The Haunting so bad.
Yeah, there's times where she works.
Right.
And so I'm not gonna say like she's universally just like bad. There's movies she's done that I love, right? You know, The Conjuring being one that comes to mind, right?
Sure.
Even in Say Anything, I think she fits that role perfectly well. But there are way too many roles where I'm like, you're so annoying, and I don't like you. And I think
what's impressive is Tim is saying this without having watched 6 Feet Under, which is like the most peak annoying she ever was. I don't think you saw those episodes.
Probably not. I watched a lot of like the first season or so, and I never got around to getting it. Yeah. Well,
late first, but yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. So yeah, and so I think she's in that same realm where there's roles that just work and it's good, but then there's other times you're like, just stop talking. But yeah.
Anyway. So my next favorite is the montage of Squires joining Luke and selling weed. It's fun.
Yeah, it is.
Especially when Luke sells to his ex-principal. That's got to be a dream come true. You always were good at math, Luke.
Yeah.
And then I love Squires joining Luke to meet Luke's weed supplier.
Right, yeah. He's like very scared at first.
Yeah, he's very obviously nervous about the bodyguards with guns, and he starts like just dancing, grooving to prove he's cool.
But he's like...
And the bodyguard quietly tells him, stop it. And Squires even more quiet, sorry.
But then in the end, he's like giving psychology advice, right? And I think that he ends up doing that through a lot of these things where he starts giving like therapy help to people as he's helping to deal weed.
The weed dealer's dreams. Yeah.
I think he kind of does that to a couple of people, but yeah.
So fast forwarding a lot, I gotta tell you, I laughed and screamed when I saw the note Squires puts on his pup, Jesus Christ. Please take care of me. My owner killed himself.
Yeah.
I was like, no, Jesus Christ.
He signs everything.
Yeah.
He signs everything because he's finally gonna get a divorce from his wife. So he signs everything, and the stepdaughter's like, "Can I help you?" Yeah. So she starts signing stuff too. It's really funny. And so later, yeah, you see that he's even signed the freaking dog. It's so funny. But I love when he starts going into Luke. Never trust a woman who doesn't like dogs.
I had this whole thing.
Please go for it.
Never trust anyone who doesn't smoke pot or listen to Bob Dylan. You hear me? Never trust anyone who doesn't like the beach. Never trust anyone who says they don't like dogs. If you ever meet someone who doesn't like dogs, you alert the authorities immediately. And sure as shit, don't marry them. Fuck yeah, Ben Kingsley. Sir Ben Kingsley.
It's so good. I don't necessarily agree about all the other stuff, but the dog stuff I'm right on board with.
I'm pretty much on board with all of it. I mean, like, I would still smoke if I could. If it was readily available, although I'm much more a fan of the gummies and whatnot, just because I hate coughing. But yeah, I'm all for it. Love Bob Dylan. Love the beach. Let's go.
I do like the beach. I don't know. I'm kind of meh about Dylan. I understand he's an amazing songwriter. I don't necessarily love the sound of his voice all that often.
Fucking narc. Fucking Giuliani.
Fucking Giuliani.
So anyway, Squires, after unsuccessfully overdosing and unsuccessfully hanging himself,
my tolerance is too strong.
He tries to.
He is nonchalantly telling Shapiro the ways he's trying to kill himself first. It's so funny, and he's just like, "Wait, what?" Like he doesn't even know. He can't even process all of this.
Yeah, and it's like he tries to walk into the ocean to kill himself finally.
Yeah,
and Luke rushes in after him, shouts a speech which convinces Squires to come back. And the first thing Squires says to Luke when they're reunited on the beach. That was really fucking cheesy what you said just there.
Yeah, it was really cheesy. That was so funny.
That rocked my world. And the last, but definitely not least, good luck in school. Try to fuck a black girl. I never got the chance.
Yes.
Holy shit.
I love, I can't remember. There was one time during that whole bit too, between the two of them, because they end up doing like a ton of hard drugs together.
Mm-hmm.
And he admits, he's like, I've never done anything more than like weed. And so now he's doing like hardcore drugs. And they're having these like deep conversations, and like Kingsley's Squires is trying to get a Luke to say something back. And then he just responds, I can't speak. Like he tries, you see him trying to get, and then he's just, I can't speak. And it was just, it was well done and delivered. It was again one of the few times where he gets to be funny.
Mm. So
I tried to kill myself twice today. I have a high tolerance for the pills and hanging too. It's so funny.
It's heavy.
Yeah.
That's all my laugh out loud moment. Do you have anything else you want to add?
Not really. I think that's about it. I do really enjoy I enjoy when you get to see him leaving towards the end, and he's got a, because like throughout he's big into music and he has a certain music taste and he's making people mixtapes. So in the end you get Dr. Squire's mixtape, which kind of made me smile. I don't know if it was a full on laugh. But anyway, that,
You
and
heard
I
about
like
the Hoople, all the young dudes, and you're like, huh.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Okay.
I like when he's like what was the line? It was something about him and Dr. Squires about him going to Jersey. And he's like, I'm sorry you have to move. He's like, not as sorry as I have to live it, or something like that. So that kind of made me, that made me laugh, especially with our connection with how Dad used to threaten us about moving to Jersey one day.
Right.
And so there's this hatred, distaste of the idea of being in Jersey that really made me laugh. And I like that last line about like, it's going to be a lot worse for me living in it. So I thought that was a really funny line. And I like what he decides to tell his family, that he's going to go to college and be a shrink. Because I'm around so many fucking crazy people, and everybody gives him this look like, what? And that would be the last of my comments.
Okay. So I told you my score first last time. What was your score for laugh out loud moments for this movie?
I went 7.
So did I. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Pretty simpatico again.
Yeah. That's boring.
Yeah. But hey, I mean, I think it's also fun when we almost picked on point for point the parts that made us laugh. As
True.
Like almost the same.
So supporting characters.
Yeah.
So Ben Kingsley is almost like a co-lead in this movie, but in truth, this whole story is about Luke. So he is supporting Luke's story, but Ben Kingsley plays Dr. Jeffrey Squires, and he trades Luke therapy for weed, and is going through his own depression story, midlife crisis, concurrently with Luke. And I gotta say, it's an interesting attempt at a New York accent from Kingsley here. It's certainly better than what he was giving in War Inc.
That's for sure. That's for sure. I can't say he did particularly that strong of a job.
It's weird. It fades in and out. Like all of a sudden I hear London like every once in a while. I'm like, what?
Yeah. But I mean, it's kind of like whatever. He's clearly high a lot of the time. So
yeah, he's a terrible therapist to Luke, but he's a good friend, and he's responsible for most of the humor in this movie, like Tim said.
Yes, without a doubt.
I gotta say, Sir Ben Kingsley making out with Mary-Kate Olsen is fucking surreal.
Like, yeah, that is a weird one. Like, that is crazy to see.
Like I had to like take my dog for a quick walk after watching. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Gandhi is making fun of making out with the Olsen twin.
It was just weird too at first, and you're like, oh wow, hippie Olsen. This is a weird sight to see at first, because it's such a radical departure than I ever saw her do stuff in.
Yeah, what's her character? Union,
yeah. I think I saw that on IMDb. I'm not sure that I even caught that like in the movie.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she said the name, but she's good. She's good in the movie.
She's good at what she's being asked to do. She's just not being asked to do a whole lot more.
No, she's only in
right?
it for like 2 scenes.
You're kind of just laughing at her as being a hippie-ish person, but I mean, she's not really asked to be that funny herself or anything.
Yeah, I feel like the joke is just like, here's Mary-Kate Olsen, like, look at the life that she's, like, it's weird to see her playing this character.
Yeah.
It's like, here's this wholesome, actress who has just been in so many, like, family-friendly stuff, and she's talking about, like, doing drugs at the Fish concerts and
right,
dropping acid or whatever else. And it's like, wow, all right.
Yeah, that was about it. And I feel like besides Ben Kingsley and Dr. Squires there, that's kind of the same for most people. Like, Stephanie's not really given a whole lot to do to be funny.
I want to point out real quick before I just want to say Squires is like when he finally bottoms out at the Fire Island beach house.
Yeah.
And is trying to kill himself. It's almost like a preview of his Trevor Slattery character from Iron Man 3.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's like a slightly watered down version of that.
Yeah.
It's like, oh.
I can see that.
So yeah, as you're saying, Olivia Thirlby plays Stephanie, Squire's stepdaughter and Luke's crush. She does a great job of playing hot, cool girl who grew up way too fast.
Right.
And it's like, when you have this girl in high school who when she's hit the point already of like sex is no big deal and just good sport, and Luke is nowhere near emotionally ready to deal with someone like her. And God bless Squires knows it and tries to warn him off. Like,
right, yeah, tries right away. Yeah.
And he's like,
she's just bored, Luke.
Yeah, and Luke's just like, fuck you, it's real.
Yeah.
It's like, buddy.
Well, it was a harsh scene because they really, in that scene, they trade some barbs.
Yeah, it's
between the two of them where they really dig deep at each other.
Calls him a weird old man.
Yeah, that's where he said, "Am I a weird old man?" Yes.
So like, when she and Luke have sex, it happens so fast for Virgin Luke. He has like a panic attack and asking for a condom, and she replies, "That's what the pill's for." And it's like,
yeah,
oh, buddy, you are not ready to handle. You can't ride this ride. You are not tall enough to ride this.
You're
ride.
not tall enough. Yeah, and he can't get it up.
Right.
He's too nervous.
Right. And then when she finally coaxes him into it, it's like when he confesses a virgin. It's like, all right, I'm going to give you some lessons, and then like comes in seconds after they finally start. Like, well, that's what the condom is for. Like, well, really, give the kid a chance. He didn't stand a chance.
Yeah. Not at all. And I mean, it's a funny thing, right? Like, I'm curious too. Maybe I'm jumping ahead here. What were your impressions on that last interaction between the two of them? Where he runs into her again one last time outside the apartment door. I
think for me, it was
he says a line about, like you broke my heart or something, and she ends up smiling, and I'm like, wait, what happened here? I'm a little...
Okay, so in my impression of this is that, like, okay, he has already come to a resolution on this. He knows exactly who she is. And
right.
Like, he doesn't want to hear her apologize or anything. He's like, just stay there. Just be there until I'm gone so I can see you this way and I can remember this perfectly. It's the first time I got my heart broken. Yeah. And I think that she had been in like this, like Squires had said, she's just bored.
Yeah,
and like
everybody went away. They kind of set that up in the beginning of the movie, basically.
Right. And like, so like she wasn't expecting this sort of emotional attachment to anything, and just like kind of shocked that like his all of a sudden maturity and everything. And so I think she's delighted by the whole experience too, but like in like a warm way. She's like, oh, wow.
I made this boy a man, maybe? I don't know.
A little bit.
Is that her smile?
There, but she's also like, I really had that effect on somebody. And because I think there's definitely guilt there too. 100%.
Yeah, totally. You could see it when she knows that Justin or whoever is there because she clearly spent the night with him or whatever.
Right.
Like, this is not going to go well.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've seen gists of that in a lot of movies in the past. So I mean, ouch. It hurt.
Yeah, no, and I've known that girl. I knew that girl in high school. I knew a bunch of those girls in high school. It's like,
Yeah.
this one hurts close to home too. Like, yeah, you're not ready for this, buddy.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, run away. So Famke Janssen plays her mom, Kristen Squires.
Yeah.
And like Tim said, she doesn't get much to do in this movie besides being annoyed by her husband.
Yeah, there's like 2, maybe 3 deliveries that she's able to do that are funny, but literally that she's probably given 2 or 3, and that's it.
There is nobody on God's green earth who gives a better "I fucking loathe my husband" look better than her.
Oh, that's for sure. She's been stuck in doing that a lot.
Yeah, but like she's aces at it. And
Yeah,
she gets that
is.
one great story when she's telling the story of the last time that they stayed up the night together, which is great.
Yeah, they did. And again, like I have to say too, the couple times with the shirt tucking in and him being like, "Oh, I cheated" or whatever last night, like
him, yeah.
that works just as good because of what she's giving back. So she was very helpful in those scenes. So she does a good job there.
Mm-hmm.
But again, yeah, there's just not a lot there. There's not a whole lot Stephanie can do. There is some fun stuff. She's never bad at all. But a lot of the side characters are limited if it's not Dr.
This is
Squires.
Luke's movie, and Shapiro was there to support him, and everyone else is just living in their world. So it's
right.
Fine. Like you couldn't. But
it's the basis of the movie, but I think this is why I'm not going to go terribly high on this category.
Method Man playing Luke's weed supplier Percy does an impressive Jamaican accent. Honestly, I thought it was really good. I thought it was good.
I did not think so.
I thought he was delightful.
I think he was fun in the role. Don't get me wrong. I'm not so sure about his accent, but I liked that you have this hardcore drug dealer that is like weirdly personable and chummy and like trying to also give Luke advice and such, like, and taking advice from Dr. Squires. So the stuff is funny.
Yeah, no, I thought it was good.
Yeah. No, I feel like you could be delivering not the greatest accent and can still be good. So that's kind of what I felt.
Think his Jamaican accent is better than whatever the fuck Ben Kingsley was doing in War Inc.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Without a doubt. That's not saying a whole lot. That was rough. That's how I was like, one of the things why I picked this movie, like I was like, I need a redemption here. Because I know I love Ben Kingsley, and this was it's bad. Like, it's
so Justin the dick that obviously only tolerates Luke for his weed and ends up sleeping with Steph after is played by Aaron Yu. Tim and I know him best as Chewie from Friday the 13th remake,
right?
And Ronnie from Disturbia.
Yeah, he's been around and he's always fun.
Still working. I wish I'd seen more stuff right now. I'm kind of bummed that he hasn't been popping up in stuff that I've already been watching.
Dude's got charisma.
Yeah. No, he's
like even
very funny when you let him be.
He's not a good person.
No, he's this real role. Shit in this movie.
Yeah, but at the same time, you're like, I can see why people like him.
Yeah, no.
You know?
Because he doesn't look like he's trying to hurt anybody.
Right.
So it's like, oh, you know?
Yeah. He doesn't seem like he's being vindictive or vicious.
Exactly.
Like he like even in that like scene later where he does see Justin spent the night or whatever, and then Justin's like, "Hey man, you got any weed?" Yeah. And he just immediately is like, "No." Like gives him such a firm like no. It just like, "All right." Like
yeah, exactly.
I have no, what did I do? Like,
exactly. So I gave this category 3.5 for supporting characters.
Okay.
Pretty much entirely on the string. Well, Kingsley's in there, so I got to give it a high character because he's.
I think you're right. If Kingsley's in there, I got to go higher. I'll go at least 3. I'll go another half point.
Okay.
You've convinced me. But yeah, Kingsley's awesome in this movie. It's so just there's just so like I almost wanted more, even though it's not about him. And that's what I got to tell myself. And then again, like a lot of people are not really able to get much or shine much. So, but really, I mean, but you're right. It is a coming of age story, but just a backdrop plot. But whatever.
Okay.
But yeah.
So I had to have him score him higher than Luke because of Kingsley. This is all for Kingsley, a 3.5. Like all the points. And even though everyone does a very fine job with the very small amount that they are allowed to do, everyone does their job perfectly. And
you know what? You convinced me again. I'm gonna go 3.5. You're right. He was the best part of the movie.
Oh, look at that. Now we have identical scores of 13.5.
Yep. You convinced me.
Wow.
You made good points this time.
I almost feel bad. I'm gonna make you watch next week.
Oh no. Usually I stand by my guns, but I think I do find it weird though, because that means actually for both of us, this goes over Pineapple Express. I was not expecting that.
Yeah, no, I'm feeling pretty good about this movie being. I really enjoyed this movie.
I really liked this movie too. I really did.
I would recommend this to people. I'm like, oh, you want to see a great coming of age story? Watch The Wackness. This movie is beautiful.
It's good. I guess you're right, because they're different movies. Like Pineapple Express is like a funnier movie.
Yeah.
But I think this is just a more...
This is a complete movie.
Yes, yeah.
Has a point, has a story to tell, like a real story to tell. Made me feel things.
Yeah.
And made me laugh. A lot.
Yeah. I think that's a good point, man.
So, miscellaneous. The soundtrack for this movie is bananas great.
It really is.
It's all like the best of mid-90s hip-hop. You got Biggie, Nas, KRS-One, A Tribe Called Quest. Oh, the Tribe Called Quest. That drop was great.
Did you like how...
Biz Markie, Raekwon, Wu-Tang. It's great soundtrack.
But I like when... I'm trying to remember the line that he has about Tribe Called Quest, because the way he delivers it is like, and he's a part of a tribe.
Yeah.
Like it's so like ridiculous. Like he's like so not with it or whatever.
Can I kick it? Yes, you can. It's great. So the Wackness won the Audience Award at the Sundance Film Festival. And scored a 3-star review, 3 out of 4-star review from Roger Ebert. And
I was looking when I was looking up to pick. It had a lot of good reviews.
Yeah, no.
And so I was like, wow, how did this kind of slip by under the radar?
Well, I'll tell you how.
All right.
It had a budget of $6 million, supposedly, and grossed a little over 3.1 worldwide. Debuted at number 24 at the box office, beating out Baby Mama in its 18th weekend of release.
Oof.
And losing to Hancock in its first weekend of release and a whole lot of others. It got put out into very limited theaters, and it was done on the 4th of July weekend in 2008. Just like, what?
It was set up to fail.
For real. I'm like, why? Why would you do that? This movie... But like, remember how we were deciding like comedies this year?
Yeah.
And like we're like let's do them all. I'm like, oh, there are 60 some odd comedies released. I'm like, man, where do you even fit it? So I wonder if that was like that. They should have just sat on it and released it later, because
probably
it's a shame where people haven't seen this. I'm sad it took me until now to watch this movie, because it's really good.
It's good. I really enjoyed it a lot. I really did.
All right.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's the Wackness.
That's the Wackness, man. Yeah. Up next is your pick.
So Tim.
Uh-oh.
I feel like we gotta shift gears a little.
Oh no. What does that mean?
We gotta get one of the unfortunate ones out of the way.
I just did.
No, the Wackness is really good.
What?
No,
I know,
War
but
Inc.
the one before, I went War Inc. to the Wackness is what I did.
Yeah, I know, but we usually try to follow up a good one with a bad one. Plus, I want to do something that's completely different from anything we've watched so far. I think that's more important.
Okay, fair enough.
So we're going to watch Sex and the City, the movie.
Oh, God. We're really going to get that out of the way. Okay. Well, I said it was going to be you that had to do it because I refused. So,
did you watch the show at all?
Yeah, I've watched a lot of the earlier. I wouldn't say a lot. I watched a decent amount of earlier episodes. There was also when I visited my sister-in-law who lives in New York City, and she would get up for work and just play Sex and the City episodes
in the morning.
She just play. She like there were certain things like certain shows she just kind of just play in the background as she's working, and Sex and the City was one of them. And I was like, oh my god! And she was watching like earlier seasons, like, oh yeah, I remember this episode. Like I was like, oh, that's weird. I remember this, but like I don't remember. I didn't watch any of the like later stuff. I don't think. And I was really sporadic with my watching, so I didn't watch any of the episodes consecutively. So I feel like I'm gonna be lost.
Nah,
but
you'll be fine.
I'm sure I get the gist.
You've never seen the movie, right?
I've never seen the movie.
Oh, okay.
I've never seen the movie. Yeah.
Right.
I haven't watched a lot of the later episodes either. So
this movie is watchable.
Yeah.
I don't remember how quality it is.
Okay, that's weird. All right.
I know that the second one is so bad that I couldn't even bring myself to watch it. And I've seen every episode of the show and seen the movie. I'm like, nope, that's where I draw the line. I have not watched the revival.
Wow. I'm not looking forward to it. I'm not.
This movie is okay, I think. It could have got aged a lot worse than I remember. I don't know. I only saw it once.
We'll see. I don't know. I'm not overly confident. I'm not.
Tim, this one's for the ladies. On the Film Bro Championship podcast.
On the Film Bro Show. Yeah, maybe we should think of a title change later in the future, huh?
There you go.
Be more inclusive.
That's right.
But yeah, okay. Sex and the City, the movie, it's surprise. It's on Max.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got that going for us, which is nice.
Tim is so depressed.
That might be the movie I'm like least looking forward to. There are some ones that I'm like, ugh. But yeah. So. All right, that is it for us. Please show your support for the podcast by leaving a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music, where you're happy to listen to the show. Also, sharing is caring. Be sure to follow us on social media to get the latest show updates. You can contact us by emailing at filmbrochamp@gmail.com or find us by searching #FilmBroChamp. Thank you for listening to the episode of the Film Bro Championship Podcast. Peace out, everyone.
Fucking